What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Batman Detective Comics, issue number 1069. Haha, yeah, get it? 69? Okay, never mind. But yes, so this is issue 1069. The main story is written by Ram V, the backup's by Simon Spurrier. It seems to be kind of a trend. Ram V writes this, and then someone else writes the backup. I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't think we need backups anymore in Detective Comics and Action Comics and Batman and all that other stuff. Can we just have the one main story? Because the backup stuff, actually, I'll say the backup, this one's a little more interesting than what's going on in the main story. It's a Mr. Freeze focused one, but I just think we don't really need them anymore. You could cut down the price by $1, but it's just something I guess I got to get used to at this point. But anyway, so we're at part, what part are we even in this storyline? This storyline feels like it's been going on for a while because we had a bunch of different parts of it, and then of course we had the annual as well, which is kind of more of a flashback thing. It's the operatic feel that they're going for in this whole story, and you know, I've been okay with it for the most part so far, but this is where it starts to drag a little bit, and there's some things that they kind of introduced in this issue that I'm kind of like, do we really need this? Like, do we really need Ten-Eyed Man? Because when I had to read that Dan Waters, like Arkham City or Order of the World or whatever it was, I just kind of grew a little bit tired of it after a while. But yeah, like Ten-Eyed Man's just here kind of briefly, just rambling on some sort of philosophical gibberish that you honestly just don't like really need or care about. And then obviously we kind of picked up the last time where Two-Face / Harvey Dent or whatever saved his life, but like at the cost of the Two-Face side learning from the Harvey Dent side that Batman's real name is Bruce Wayne, and then Two-Face makes a threat, and I'm like, look at this, I saved you here, but if you go after me or try to save Harvey or any of that other nonsense, I will hunt down each and every person that you've ever cared for and basically like wipe them out and enjoy it. Which at this point, it's like, look, the Bat family deals with so many, like who's left at this point? Like everyone Bruce knows is basically a superhero. I mean, look at the Robins. They deal with way worse threats on a daily basis than just a single guy with a split personality. I mean, they know his identity. Then obviously Harvey knows, okay, well, gee, who am I going to face off? Dick Grayson? Well, he's got the Titans protecting him. He's already getting to deal with a Nightwing and all that other stuff. Tim Drake, he's off doing whatever he is in his solo. Cassandra Cain, good luck, because Cass will kick your ass. Steph, you know, she's got Cass and Barbara on her side, so good luck there. Damian's literally been fighting in death tournaments all over the world. I'm pretty sure this threat just doesn't seem all that threatening. Duke's been training with the Outsiders. He could probably take out Harvey, no problem. So yeah, I mean, it's not too much of a threat considering that every one of Bruce's allies, I mean, Alfred's gone, so okay, there's that. Maybe Leslie Tompkins would be the one, but I feel like she'd have pretty good protection at this point. But yeah, pretty much all of Bruce's like close allies and friends are superheroes at this point. So I mean, Two-Face's threat, yeah, he knows his identity, but I'm pretty sure they can take care of themselves, or they've all dealt with worse at this point. But that's just me. But yeah, so the Orgham stuff, it's kind of taking a slow pace right now. I feel like the arcs, I wish they were kind of doing a little bit more stuff to make some of these characters stand out a little bit more. Like one of them is like a werewolf. Well, that's kind of interesting, I suppose. But I just wish there's a little bit more to make the Orgham family seem more interesting. We also have Batman meeting up with Gordon, and they kind of acknowledge the fact that he can't really do this forever, and that all this injury stuff is taking its toll on him. Like I said, it's a nice conversation between him and Gordon. And then we get this bit right here where the police are talking about how the Orghams have pretty much like wiped out crime within Gotham City, or at least that's kind of like what the implications going on here. Yeah, stats are down, and the Montoya is concerned because she thinks it's like the calm before the storm or whatnot, and then she's kind of getting threatened like, hey, maybe you'll lose your job because of this stuff or whatever. But yeah, we also still have all the missing people in the city. Bruce is still dealing with the stuff he's been dealing with since the beginning of the arc, also having flashes to Barbados, if you will, just that fear and just, you know, the sign of aging and all that. Babs is there. She sends Cass down into like the grid area of Gotham City to kind of figure out what's going on. And then obviously there's all these people that have been in cages being turned into these the Orghams families, like the Arzen or whatever's army, if you will. We also get Leanne Harper / Shoes Roy Harper's daughter, who he still has not come across yet. So there's that. And then, of course, her ally being Solomon Grundy. I think that was something in Catwoman. But that's kind of the main story in a nutshell. The backup storyline, I think, is a little more interesting. It's a Mr. Freeze-focused one. And you also have that woman, Annabelle Meade, who was in some other stuff. But basically, Victor has her as a test subject, and he's trying to, do his whole little shtick right here. And of course, he's also facing off against the army of the Orghams. So the Azmer, that's the word I'm looking for. So the Azmers that he's been dealing with in the cold, and he's going on and on about his wife and how he did all this stuff to freeze her to kind of cure a disease, and then finally she became kind of unfrozen, but then she rejected him, and now he thinks, oh, the cryogenics must have damaged her brain. So Victor Freeze just can't accept things the way they are. He always has to control, and he's going to do whatever he can to fix his wife's kind of craziness that she's been dealing with. Because remember, she went and became Mistress Freeze and was causing chaos and all that. I thought that was an interesting thing that Peter J. Tomasi introduced, if you will. I thought that was kind of neat. Seeing how Nora Freeze is finally like out of cryostasis and wrecking and causing havoc. Now Mr. Freeze is just like, oh, it must be the cryogenics that damaged her brain. He's trying to find a cure or whatever. So he's going to freeze her again in a different way and try and change the process, if you will. And then, of course, this lady's like met up by this character named Earworm or whatever. So yeah, that's the issue in a nutshell. Not too much is really happening plot progression wise. I mean, a lot of this stuff is stuff we've, like with the Orghams doing their thing. It's moving at a bit of a slow pace, if you will. Like nothing too exciting. The whole Two-Face thing's like, I know your name, Bruce. Now I can threaten your entire family and all that. Like, well, I mean, have you seen what they've dealt with for the past year between Dark Crisis and everything? I'm pretty sure they'll be okay. So I just don't take Two-Face's threat all that seriously, since he knows his identity. It's a little bit different when pretty much everyone left in Bruce's life is all just people in capes and costumes at this point, because Alfred's gone. The only other one I can think of is like Leslie Tompkins. The Fox family, well, they're basically all like doing their things, and of course they have their capes and that too. So I'm really trying to think of anybody else who Two-Face can really seem like a threat to. But yes, he is Two-Face. He's a villain. He's done terrible things, but I'm pretty sure the family, okay, Two-Face knows. Well, a lot of villains know who we are. We can handle this shit. So, and then of course bringing in Ten-Eyed Man. I don't know why he was really all that there. Do we really? I know this is a whole operatic feel, but do we really need more of Ten-Eyed Man spouting some of his exposition in that? I don't know. I'm not really a huge Ten-Eyed Man fan. I just don't think we really needed him in here. But yeah, so it's still going on. The artwork is decent. There's a couple different artists who work on this stuff. I actually like the backup style art more with the colors and all that, the way they kind of pop and a lot of the pinks and stuff. I like some of that a little bit more, and I thought the idea of Mr. Freeze trying to, like, who can't, like, just accept what's the inevitable with his wife, like the stuff with him, I thought that's kind of interesting. But the rest of the stuff, it's just kind of so-so for me. But it is what it is. I'm still reading it, and I'm still okay with the story so far. I just am slowly starting to lose a little bit of interest. I think having Cass and Harper, or Leanne Harper meet up, I think that'll be kind of interesting if that's the way it's going to go, and maybe that'll lead into the Green Arrow book, because we are heading into the dawn of DCU, and I think, having Cheshire and Roy's daughter finally, like, acknowledge that she's here and all that would be pretty cool, because like I said, Roy and his daughter, like, I don't know how she's still around at this point. Maybe it's like a time displacement thing or whatnot, but it will be cool to see her finally meet up with her dad again. So that's that. But anyway, so Detective Comics 1069, I didn't really love it. I didn't really hate it. I thought it was just okay for the most part. There's just a few things it's just kind of dragging a little bit with the story, and in some ways I kind of liked what they were doing before, but this particular issue, nothing really stood out to me all that much, other than the backup and kind of what it was doing with Mr. Freeze. But it is what it is. So anyways, that's all I really have to say about this particular issue. I thought the backup was more interesting than the main story, and I'm kind of hoping we move on from this Orgham thing soon, because like I said, there's a lot of characters in the background, but it just feels like there hasn't been much progress with them, and there hasn't really been much of an effort to make a lot of these other Orgham characters stand out or be all that interesting so far. Like, one of them has kind of this werewolf power thing, but I'm kind of waiting for a little bit more. I need a little bit more of a spark with their story to kind of keep things a little bit more interesting. So I'm hoping that's what'll happen in the subsequent issues, but only time will tell. So anyways, if you read Batman Detective Comics issue number 1069, what did you think of it in the comment section down below? Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit that bell for notifications, all that other fun stuff. I think that's going to wrap it up for this particular week in DC Comics. I think there's other stuff I can read, but I'll get around to that soon enough. But in terms of reviews, that's basically going to be it for right now. So 2 Batman-related things. Finished up Batman vs. Robin yesterday, which, you know, I enjoyed that issue overall. I can see why some people have criticism towards it, and I can see why some people enjoyed it. But like I said, it is what it is. So if you have any thoughts on this one or any other DC Comics that you've read this week, let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.